Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd give a little bit of a recap here for all the new people that is on the channel, what we're actually working on here. I know we've had the body off on the Jeep for a little while now. Yes, it is Jeep Scrambler Build, and today we're going to be working on the coolant system for the transmission and the oil cooler here. So I'm going to kind of give you guys kind of a preview of what we're going to be building here, and sit back and enjoy. Alrighty guys, so it's time to get the old chop saw out and cut up some 1/2-inch tubing here, and I'm going to use our good old handy dandy hand tubing bender here to bend us out some support, kind of like some support backbones for our mounts there, and kind of see what it's all going to kind of turn out looking like here on the template there. So we need to get our second bend in here, and I'm trying to get this thing leveled up so our bends are parallel to each other, and which is very important. If you get them off and they're all kind of crooked, it kind of makes it a mess to weld up, and it looks really weird on your final product there. But we got them pretty straight. You can kind of see it laying down on the table there where we kind of want this thing laid out on the transmission cooler itself. So we got our tranny cooler here, and I believe this piece is going to work out pretty good. Now this little area right here is kind of fun to hold, put a level on it, and tack it up with the TIG welder all at the same time. So this is kind of a fun little step here, but took my time and was actually able to get it in there pretty nicely here. But it's amazing how strong a tack is from a TIG weld versus a MIG tack. A lot of times with this small tubing stuff, I really like using a TIG welder just to get things tacked up. I know on some projects, you use the MIG more, but on this thing, yeah, we're going to use the TIG welder to weld everything up in the end anyways. But I just thought it was kind of a handy little tip there to say, hey, when you got a small part and it's got a lot of load on it, or might have a little bit of weight on it and it's hard to get tacked on, get the TIG welder out, practice with that thing, and I tell you, man, it really holds parts really nicely just with a small amount of tack on there. But we're getting to the conclusion here, getting this thing kind of tacked up real good, and we'll kind of sit back and enjoy here. Alrighty, so we've got our supports there on our transmission cooler, and I believe that thing's going to be pretty daggum stout. Now it's time to kind of figure out what we're going to do with the oil cooler as well. And I kind of want to, come up with a decent little template here before I ever start cutting metal. And on this particular project, I get my dad's help on this. I basically make this template for him, kind of give him an idea of what I'm wanting to do and where I'm wanting it to fall out and drop out there in the chassis, and he kind of took it from there on getting the piece cut out for me. But the cardboard template works really well. I wanted to keep this this cooler as cool as possible, so I'm trying to figure out here with this template, I'm looking at how do we want the holes, and now you can kind of see the finished product here, getting this thing tacked in. I know we're going kind of quick in this video, but I have a lot of projects going on in this episode. You guys are going to get to see a lot of things happening on the Jeep today. Alrighty guys, well, Mr. Jesse's been working on that 55. I've been working on this thing. It's very, very meticulous stuff I've been working on. The oil filter system, oil lines. Mounted up the oil cooler and transmission cooler, trying to get all those transition of those lines to be real nice and clean and stuff. That's been a mess, and it's just a time-consuming setup, but once you got it, and you can have yourself a very clean system, be rocking and rolling there. Also been working on our radiator lines, or coolant lines, through Auto Plumb. Mr. Joe helps us out a lot on all of our AN fittings, whether it be for oil systems, fuel system, cooling system, all of it. He helps us out a bunch of Auto Plumb, and we use aerial flow fittings. Oh, before I forget, I'm trying to figure out where to mount the fuel regulator. I know a lot of guys normally mount them right here, but we're running -8 lines because we're on E85. And if you run the regulator right here, or the kind that we've got, there's not enough room to run the fittings. So that really kind of threw a curveball at me hardcore right there. So I don't know if we're gonna have to run it back here at the back. We're gonna have to get the body back on it to check, make sure I got enough room. I don't know if we're gonna have to do that, or if we're just gonna have to put the regulator, like mount it way on this side or way on that side. I don't know yet. We're kind of in a weird spot right there. So let's go back to the back of the Jeep. Okay, so back here, I've had Blaine's help to kind of guide me and help out on how we need to set up the rear end back here. This thing's starting to look really, really wicked. Got our shock mounts on it. Getting ready to mount the shock mounts actually on the chassis. I'll show you guys those things right here. My dad cut these out for us. They look super, super cool, and they just kind of go like that right there, and they look wicked right there. Also getting ready to put the anti-roll in it right there, just like that. That'll look really wicked and really cool. Yes, that will kind of come over in here more, and those arms will be straight up and down, so that's coming along too. Let's move on over here and show you guys some more stuff. I did have some pieces cut out for the shifter, just to kind of I don't know, put a little bit more, I don't know, finesse to this thing, or whatever you want to call it here. But check it out.
Pizzazz.
Yeah, pizzazz, that's right, Hannah, thank you. I was looking for some verbiage there. Words. But anyways, this is on this, I don't know if you want to call it stripes or what you want to call this. I know this is on a lot of the Scramblers, and I really like that design. And I kind of want to just add this extra flavor here for Toby there. I thought it was really cool. It kind of, I didn't mean for the shape of the shifter to come out this way, and I noticed this striping that's on a lot of the Scramblers is already that way anyway, so it kind of just worked out. So I hope he likes it. I hadn't showed him that yet, so this will be the first time he sees it, but that same design's on both sides, and I think that looks kind of cool on that shifter there. All right, so I think that covers it on that, I do believe. I'm sure there's some other stuff I'm missing I hadn't talked about. Let's go on back here to the rear of the shop. Something we did go and do today. I know all this is a mess right now. My dad did give me his old 2-in-1 lathe and mill. I actually learned how to use a milling machine off of this thing. It's a really good little machine, and I just need to get us a new 4-jaw chuck for it, and we'll be rocking and rolling with that thing. It's just nice to have a little lathe and a little mill to do small little things like bungs and slip fit tubing and stuff like that. Just something that you can quickly turn something down and get to rolling there. So that worked out really good. One thing we did have a hiccup with, I went and got one of these workbenches from Harbor Freight, and we gave them a call here locally and was like, hey, I need a box, and you have this Yukon in stock? I was like, yeah, we got it. We drove down there and they totally didn't have none, so we had to drive all the way clear across town and go to Kingsport to pick this thing up. Super good box, very nice, awesome drawers and stuff in it, but man, that's kind of aggravating today. It was just a little bit of a mess, but we got us a box and got our lathe and mill on there, and we're ready to rock and roll on that. So that covers that deal right there. Alrighty guys, so this next phase of the video here is how I come up with this elbow here for the throttle body. And so right off the bat here, we got to start out with a 90-degree elbow, what we're wanting to use, and that's kind of what these things look like when you start with them. So I like to clean it up, get all the surfaces good and clean, get our cuts straight, get all the burrs out of them, all that good stuff, and I start to kind of bolt this thing up and see what it looks like. So I went ahead and tacked this thing in. It was so hard to get this thing tacked on. I couldn't get good footage of it, but I think this piece turned out really nice, and I'm really, really happy to see this thing finally go on here. But check this out. You just have to play the throttle body. I'm just saying, you have to do that as soon as you get one bolted on. You have to. Jesse, you look tired, man.
Going from night shift to day shift is 100% struggle.
Yeah, Mr. Jesse started him a new job there and had starter problems this week. It's had coil problems, battery problems, just old 55's giving you a fit this weekend.
Right now.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get him going up and going there. But I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to wrap this video up. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Kind of been all over the place, but sometimes these videos are this way. It's a lot of work on certain things, and sometimes it gets a little bit aggravating, but we're getting there though. We're getting there. So next time, you guys have a good one. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Look below, make sure you are subscribed, and we're tired. It's late. Y'all have a good one.